Press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
English percentile was 99.1. My quant percentile was 98.95, and my LRDI percentile was 98.05.
Okay, so welcome back guys to Real Humans of B School. We are in talks with Samaksh and he has got 99.56 percentile in CAT. So let's get an understanding from him that how did you manage to get this along with your work timing and everything?
Okay, so in the work timing, because there we were learning a lot of things, but they always encouraged my peers at Reliance and even my manager and my seniors, they always encouraged everyone to learn something better. Whenever I told them that, even after getting my percentile, they were like, if in the future, now we know that you have cleared an exam and you are going to study further, even if in future you need something, because I had just worked with them for 5-6 months, still they were there for me, who were saying that even in the future, whenever you need anything, just ping us and we'll help you. So all those things, all the time they help. And if you find a peer group, then that is something really good. I could not find that while at Reliance, because we were there in small batches and not everyone was preparing for CAT. Some people were going for GRE, etc. So I did not find a peer group, but finding a peer group really helps.
Okay, so you are an engineer, Samaksh, and you got a 99.56. So what was your strongest section for you?
Ma'am, actually, for this, my weakest section was verbal ability, but...
Okay, that's surprising, and that's actually very typical for all engineers to have weakest being verbal, and you still managed to get the maximum percentile in that. How did that happen?
I was really lucky. Maths has been my strong suit from the beginning itself, and during the mocks and everything, I was getting a really good percentile in maths and LRDI, but I was not scoring so well in English. When I prepared for the first time, this was CAT 2017.
Okay.
And I got 97.72 percentile. Because I did not do so well, because the LRDI section was really hard and I could not do it. So my percentile was bad in LRDI, which threw my balance off. And as usual, I scored low in English. I got an 86 percentile in English. So I thought that I have to do something that helps me at least get some more answers right, so that I can get into a good range where English will push my other sections, because English is really scoring, and to do it without English is really difficult. So I read some of the novels, I kept reading some newspapers, and those things, in the end, I did not realize this, but they helped in the end. I kept practicing mock tests, and I realized one thing, that you need to get all the fact-based questions right if you are not that good in inference-based questions, because mostly they can be divided into two parts. So I focused on the fact-based questions because there is a more chance that you will get them right. Then I went into inference-based questions. This strategy helped me a lot. I found it in some CAT interview. So I think someone might find this helpful.
Correct. Okay, so that's really interesting. Like reading in all of them and increasing the verbal score helps to jump your overall percentile, which is there. So when you were preparing Samaksh for the second time, how much time did you give yourself? How many months before did you start?
Ma'am, I had to join Reliance in mid-July. So before that, I prepared for 1.5 months. And then during my stint at Reliance, I did not get a lot of time. So I started preparing back in November. I gave some of the mocks in end of October, but I came back home taking some of my holidays, and I prepared for a month because I had all my preparation in 2017, so this was a little bit more structured for me. So I prepared in the end for a month.
So what all things you made sure, like what was your daily routine like for that 1 month?
I always think this thing works for me. It might not work for everyone else. They might have to find their sweet spot. So I always think that I'm very scared of English. So if I can start a mock and I can get through first 30 minutes, then I can go through the whole 3-hour mock. So I decided that every day till the 20-25 days that I left, I will take a mock every day and revise it. So every day morning, this was my routine. I do not like to do anything before taking a mock because I get that feeling that you spend your brain somewhere and now it is getting it. So every day schedule was that mock, and whichever section I'm not doing well, one single mock test, like 1 hour test or half an hour test on that concept or these things, and analyzing everything. And I made some notes where I wrote down all the concepts that I had to remember in the that is something that I did on all the days.
Okay, so that's interesting to give mocks, analyzing them, and at the same time making notes, what all concepts to remember and all of that ensure that you have a good entire start. So how many overall mocks did you give in that 1 month's time?
20 mocks, 23-hour mocks.
Okay.
And sometimes I was traveling on Sundays and all those things were happening, so I was not like in between of my preparation, and I did not want to score bad because after that I do not feel so well. So that is why everything was left. So I took all those mocks in the end.
Okay, that's interesting. And you mentioned that you're not someone who's very sincere, and despite that getting a 99.56, I think definitely there was some amount of sincerity and focus towards getting that score. So what did you feel once you got 99.56? Like, were your efforts valued, or you were like, you should have done better?
Getting my best in English was something really new for me, and I thought that I could have. So all my sections were balanced. So my English percentile was 99.1. My quant percentile was 98.95, and my LRDI percentile was 98.05.
Wow.
So everything was in the same zone.
Correct.
So I thought that because in the mocks and everything, I was my LRDI and my quant percentile were higher than this.
Yeah.
So I thought that I could have done something better because. So I feel really nervous when someone counts my marks. So I was there in Ahmedabad working, and my sister was counting my marks. So once she calculated my English marks, I thought that I'm like definitely going to be near 100. But then maths and LRDI section disappointed a little. But I was really happy because I did not expect this in English. So that was a bonus which compensated for my bad performance in quant and LRDI. So overall I was really happy that at least I got something.
Okay, that's lovely.